Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm reading today for Capricorn energy, and Cappies, I have a confession to make. It's not Thursday. I have seen like a car with like a what they call like a flatbed kind of thing, like attached to it. It wasn't like part of the truck, it was like attached to it, kind of going backwards up the street as I was sitting down to do your reading. I was like, it's not the beep beep truck, which is traditional for Capricorns, but it's going backwards, it's reversing. So which talking about things reversing, I believe Pluto is going to go direct now in your chart. I think it's completed its cycle of its 3 retrogrades, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I'm not the best at astronomy, but I think you've had Pluto in your chart forever, and it's gone backwards 3 times, or retrograde, not actually going backwards. And I think it's completed that 3rd cycle. So all those lessons that you've been integrating, all those kind of like plunges into the underworld to face your inner demons, like that phase, I want to say, is complete for you, especially because the devil came out reverse kind of when I was pulling out your cards to channel your energy. It's and you've got the world as well, which is one of your cards, which is completion. So it looks like you're closing out cycles, closing out phases of dealing with a huge amount of karma. You are a sign that like you're the sign that deals with the most karma, not only your own karma, but the karma of like other people, and you know the baggage of life. And you seem to have a heavier weight than others. But I want to say there is that kind of Piscean polar bear energy to your reading, or like the Leo lion energy of like you're given these responsibilities, you're given these burdens because you're up to the task, right? It's like this Herculean effort that is life. You've got the broad shoulders to bear it. So it sucks. You don't deserve it, but it's kind of the straw that you've picked for this this phase, right? This learning phase of your soul. So I was thinking as well, just as I was starting the reading, of kind of the theory that we have 12 lives on earth, and you start off as an Aries, then you're a Taurus, then you're a Gemini, right? And it's like, if you complete the phase of soul growth, like learning all those different lessons, it's like then you ascend. But if you don't complete it, you go back to being an Aries. It's like you have to do the whole thing again, just learning like different like facets of that soul diamond. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh no, I'm a Libra, and I feel like I'm already kind of getting into the Scorpio High Priestess energy. I feel like I'm doing quite a good job of the transition into Scorpio energy, but it's like I've got Capricorn energy to come soon. And like, when I feel the energy sometimes in your readings, it's so heavy. Like, to be a Capricorn is such a mission, and I don't know if I'm up to the task, right? But that's it. That's the Capricorn experience would teach me to do that. So talking about going into your energy, when I come into your energy, sometimes Capricorns, it really has this feeling of like going really deep. Like it's almost like being submerged in your energy, which is really interesting, because when I pulled your cards, these kind of like shuffled to come out. So for those of you that don't know, this is kind of my own little deck that I've got going on at the moment. It's things that I encounter when I'm meditating, things that I encounter when I'm dreaming, so certain like reoccurring motifs, just so that I can develop my own language between myself and my own guides. Like, what do these things mean to me through those visions? So you've got a lot of cards. Again, you energy can be very overwhelming. It's like a lot of information. It's like you're dealing with so many different things in your life, like so many different people, so many different responsibilities. So every time I do a Capricorn reading, it's just, to me, like, it's not overwhelming. Again, it's this feeling like it's not that I can't cope with it. And in a way, I love doing your readings. You're one of my favorite signs to do, because it's like being, it's like as I go into it, it's like this hug. So it's like going deep but feeling safe at the same time. So it's like, where was I going with that? And they're giving me, he's got the whole world in his hands, he's got the whole wide world. Like the amount of responsibilities that you have, right? and they're giving me Herculean again, so like a Herculean task, you know, like things that a lot of other people couldn't handle. So anyway, yeah, I was pulling out these cards, and these are all the cards that came out for you. There's so many, and I didn't realize at first, these have been sat on my table for like well over a day now, but as I kind of was moving them around, I realized there's another card here that was hidden behind the book. So I don't know if this is something about a book that you're reading, but you've got the deep sea astronaut. So it could be taking a really deep dive into a book, you know, getting really, really absorbed in a certain book, or really doing a lot of exploring around some sort of scripture, some sort of rules. Take that as it resonates. But again, this deep sea astronaut, that's kind of the feeling that I have going into your energy. So where are we? Going Under by Evanescence. Deep Sea Astronaut, when I saw it, when I pulled this card out, it came with this message of a fate worse than death. And it seems to be connected just through like the preparing your cards. It seems to be connected to this specific devil card here. So you've had a lot of cards come out. I'm not going to go through everything that came out in the pre-reading, pre-shuffle, because there was a lot of information there, but I'm going to give you kind of like the overview messages, or the most like the highlights. So this specific devil card, you can see that she's very, very feminine. So I don't know, there could be something about the devil can represent all sorts of addictions, right? Sex addiction, substance abuse, so many different things. So, but you can see how slim she is, like really, really, really like starved looking. And I've also been seeing things on social media, like there's an influencer called Eugenia Cooney, who is extremely slim, and she's so slim that it's like concerning. She insists that she's healthy and fine, but you know, there's a lot of people on the internet who are worried about her because she's looks painfully thin, right? And you find this as well with people who have addictions. You know, they can get you know, it's coming in with that word, that Victorian word of like consumption. Like, you know, when people say they died of consumption, it's like wasting away, you know, muscle wasting. Again, when people get very like sick, you know, and they're not using the muscles can waste away. So it's like this wasting of the physical body is the way it's coming through with that deep sea astronaut and fate worse than death. So it's like it could also be things like with the devil, it can be like obsessive thinking, so obsessively thinking about something to the point where maybe you're not looking after yourself properly, you're skipping meals. I kind of get this isn't you, it's more somebody around you. It's like somebody that you're looking after is the way it's coming through, but take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Yeah, and about like people who are painfully skinny, I've also seen a clip from, it was about, can't think of the actor's name, but he played the machinist, Christian Bale, and he lost a huge amount of like weight as a method actor to get into that role. He lost a huge amount of weight to play that role, and he's so slim, and he's kind of like, you know, the way he's holding his body as well, it's like making his bones jut out. So it's coming through this with the devil being in reverse for you, and the world meaning lessons completed. I mean, some of you may just be traveling, but the world card is like knowledge, right? It's like completing cycles of learning knowledge, like closing the book on that chapter. And with the devil being in reverse as well, and the devil being something that changed you, and you know, plays on your desires, plays on, you know, it's temptation. So you also have here the coin, the apple, Mars, and the seed. So it's almost like with Mars energy, it's like something that drives you, right? Something that Mars isn't an energy of like desire, lust, action, drive, temper. And with it being the coin and the apple, they have a similar meaning, the coin being sort of like the pentacle, right, or the payment, or something physical. Also something that's like stamped with a you know, if you think about coins, they're often stamped with a person's face, right? So it's like there's a contract with the coin as well for me in my readings. It's like you know, a payment could be because you've worked for someone, so there's this tie happening between you and someone else. And the apple, and having the seed as well, the seed and the apple, it's like, and Pluto, look at that, Pluto there, Pluto gate, portal. What on earth? And the crows were going crazy when I was waking up this morning, and there's the priestess. Yeah, you're deep into something is the way that that feels. Deep into that plutonic energy. You do have that feeling of like making the devil your friend, right? Making the devil your bestie. And when I say that, there's two crows flying off a roof across from me. When I say that, I'm not talking about the literal like devil in the Bible. That's not what the devil means in tarot. It's our own shadow, right? It's the devil on our own shoulder, right? The voice that tells us, go on, just one more bite of the apple. You know, what harm could it do? You know, you want it, take it. So and talk about shadow work a lot, and kind of Carl Jung, you know, the collective shadow, the personal shadow. If you don't know what that is, I really recommend you go and look that up, because that's normally what I'm talking about when I talk about the devil in my readings. It's something within you, right? It's like your own inner demons that you have to battle. But also the incorporation of the shadow to get to the golden shadow, which is making friends with that inner demon and making them work for you rather than being something that controls you. So it can talk about overcoming addictions of various kinds. But the apple and the queen is a temptation, and it's something that's come to full fruition as well. So the seed coming to the apple is like, you know, I don't know, it's very much like an offer, right? And apples can be a cure and they can be a poison, right? You can have the poison apple from Snow White, or you can have, like, you know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's always like the devil in the upright and the devil in reverse have two different meanings. So it is like the poison is also the cure. If you think about milking a snake, right? So it's like nothing's either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So it's like it's all in how you look at it. It's all in how you handle it, how you utilize it, right? So I do see with these cards, it's like for some of you, because desire can come in a lot of different forms, and desire can be, with the King of Cups, emotional desire can be, and the Ace of Wands as well. It's like a deep love for someone, but then with the Ace of Wands having this lock on them, it's almost like, and the King of Cups being somebody who hides their feelings, not in a destructive way, not in like a bottling it up kind of way, but in a needs to know basis kind of way. It's like, really, it could be desiring someone, right? Somebody that you have a lot of love for. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's romantic. It could be a friend. You're getting this kind of friend energy, like a friend in need energy a lot. But it's like self-restraint is the way it's coming through, because it's also coming through with strength and the Ten of Wands. So it's like with this fate worse than death, it is coming through with the longing for something that you're abstaining from, right? So which is draining to your energy in a way. So it's because this is friendship as well, right? There's a friendship on the Strength card. So it's like it's coming through with that song by Fiona Apple. You've got the apple. Hunger hurts, but starving's worse. You know, a fate worse than death. Hunger hurts, but starving's worse. So it could be a lot of different things. It could be really having like a deep love and a desire for a specific person. And again, it could be like a friend that you know is bad for you. It could be just with this gold on his arm. And with the way that your energy feels, for some of you, it's some kind of addiction. Like if you think about chasing the golden, right? It's like, because that energy, that golden energy for me, it does feel very plutonic, but it also feels like the sun. So it's like that desire for that golden light energy, that feeling of being like held by God, or like in the arms of someone you love, or feeling like safe, like having the right vibration. I'm very lucky that I can get to that through meditation, but some people do take substances or seek it outside of themselves. So whatever it is, right, whatever that is, that yes, it's got a hold on you, yes, it's part of who you are, it's your own devil, right, it's your own demon, it's your own burden to carry with the Ten of Wands. It's like you have the strength to bear this, right? To bear this I'm hearing like a badge of honor, which is interesting. So again, it's like people who overcome addiction, right? They don't suddenly become not addicts. You know, they don't suddenly become like completely healed, like completely fixed. It's like they're always going to have that devil on the shoulder, but they are so incredibly strong to resist it and to live with that desire. So do you understand what I'm saying there? And again, I do feel like it could be somebody around you. It's coming through with crazy friend energy. So there's this brilliant song by Marta Suitubi called Amico Pazzo. And if you go and watch the music video, it'll be down in the description box below, by the way. All your songs will be down there. And I think you've got quite a lot again. But it's like, if you go and watch the music video to Amico Pazzo, it's so good. It's these two old men who are like racing around in wheelchairs together. And it's like, you're my best friend. And it's saying everybody needs that crazy friend, you know, but they're always there for you. It's like when you hit rock bottom, that crazy friend, you know, that person who maybe they've got some kind of addiction, like they are there for you. It's like they never let you down. And I feel like it was coming through very emotionally for me when I was tapping into this energy of it could be somebody that you've got like I feel like it could be somebody from your youth, right? Like somebody that you grew up with, like a best friend from your childhood. But it's like you could have something like a tattoo or a necklace of some kind, like a pendant, a medallion or something like that. It's like you've got reminders of this relationship. So it's coming through with like a vow, right? It's like, I don't know if you've kind of made some kind of vow with this person. And again, it doesn't have to be a singular person, it can be a group. Because you had John Bon Jovi in These Arms, and the cover, the album cover for that is like four men, like with their hands over each other like this, you know, like making that vow. So it's coming through like Three Musketeers kind of energy. So it's like you and these best friends making a vow, right? It's like we've always got each other's back no matter what. That's kind of how it's coming through. It's kind of like blood bond is kind of how it's coming through. I don't recommend anyone do that if anyone's ever watched, you know, My Girl, and like during the AIDS pandemic, it's like don't share blood. So again, it could be with addiction, it's like don't share needles. It could be it could be like an AA meeting, you know, like you know, these kind of brothers in arms kind of energy. Again, I'm saying brothers, but you know, if you, no matter what your gender is, right, flip and reverse it as needs be. But it's like, it's this kind of like almost like till death do us part energy. As I say that, there was a message coming in where for you may have a lot of these kind of relationships because Capricorn, there's that truck leaving, it's a noisy truck. Capricorn energy by itself, and again, I don't know what your full chart is, so there's going to be variation. Definitely check out your Mars placement. Your Mars placement is what makes you angry, how do you deal with that anger, and like what makes you passionate, where does your drive come from. So Mars energy is like why you do the things you do, basically. So check out your Mars placement, that could be very enlightening for you. Where's I going with this? So till death do us part. So for some of you, it's like with the devil, I'm getting, it's a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio called Django Unchained. So make of that what you will. I don't know if you felt like you've been enslaved to something. I've never seen that movie, and I used to use a gif from it all the time. It's such a good gif of like Leonardo DiCaprio looking really cocky with a drink. And like when I actually found out like that scene in that movie, it's so awful. And I was like, I can't believe I've been using that gif without realizing the context, because I feel like a horrible person now. But yeah, like I don't know if you're unchained from, they're giving me Unchained Melody, like some of these vows that you've made, some of these people that you've been very, very like committed to, that you've been very it's like almost making a vow to help them, maybe like a vow between you and God as well, like I'm taking on this burden, right? I'm taking on this person's problems as my own, where it's like you've completed it. So it's like, again, it could be like contracts, like maybe actually a specific work contract coming to an end. But it's like, you know, till death do us part. It's like, okay, well, if that was the agreement and that person dies, then, you know, that's the end of that contract. Or it's like if you said, like a contract where it's like, I agreed to help this specific person, and you name that individual, but that person changes their name. It's like, then that contract's not upheld anymore, because it's not, it's not the name of the person. Do you see what I mean? There's like a loophole coming through with that. Um, Funnily enough, without even realizing it, I've picked up my asbestos. I don't know if asbestos is anything for anyone. It's not asbestos. Well, it is asbestos, but it's like it's not dangerous. And again, with that message of it's not the thing itself, it's how it's used. So if I was grinding this up and there was all bits of asbestos in the air, that'd be really damaging to my lungs. But with it being like a polished gemstone, it's not damaging to me. I didn't realize it was asbestos when I bought it, because I have, again, this guilt over, maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's something about the guilt over where things come from, and the human cost of consumerism. There could be something like that, because I was getting a lot of stuff about diamonds as well, you know, like blood diamonds and things like that. So you could have some humanitarian stuff that you've kind of been facing. Okay, you've got so much, I don't know where else to go. Okay, so you've also got throne here. So this throne energy has been coming up quite a lot. Just hold on a sec while I get another card. So here we go. This is my Plutonic Emperor. He is absolutely stalking me and my energy this week. It's I could see it being Capricorn as well. I say it's my Scorpio Emperor, but it could be Cappi as well. The Emperor is normally Aries, Taurus, but there seems to be this like power struggle going on, like this throne game. This energy, again, it's Pluto, right? To me, that's like how I associate it. It's Pluto being the god or the planet associated with wealth, with the underworld, with the kind of darker kind of energy of like trials, you know, the Herculean effort of going into the underworld, that kind of thing. So it really does talk about going into yourself, your own psyche, your own desires, your own needs, and assessing them and kind of facing that personification of the thing controlling you. And again, if you are, it feels like you're utilizing that power, you're utilizing that devil within yourself, and it's like using it as a source of power or drive, with it being Mars. And again, maybe some of you have got like a Scorpio Mars placement, something like that. But it's like yeah, it's like making it work for you is the way it's coming through. You're feeling very empowered. Again, you've been through those 3 trials of Pluto going backwards in your chart, so it feels like the liberation from that phase. It feels like that phase is really complete for you now, and you've learnt lessons from it. So the throne, I don't know if you're coming into some kind of position of power, position of authority. I don't know if there's something going on with you where there's a bit of a power grab happening, but the throne is the seat of power. Rainbow is a symbol of hope, you know, things getting better, brighter days. It's also a sign of being able to choose who you want to love. It's a sign of like hope from the other side, all these lovely things. So take rainbow as it resonates. Mars, the Queen Apple, I've kind of talked about that, like what has been driving you. For some of you, you've been driven by the wrong desire. Now, Capricorn energy, especially kind of the way it's coming through is, I sometimes, because I've got a Capricorn Lilith placement, there's some resistance to this within me. Lilith is to do like feeling guilty about that part of yourself. So for me, the part of myself that perhaps is, they're giving me money hungry, prideful country. It's a Halsey song. I'm just going to make a note. Money hungry, pride country, Hals. Some of you then, with it being thrown and this kind of emperor energy, it could be looking at the people who are in power, right? And maybe there is a part of yourself being a Capricorn that desires power, right? It's like, I want to be in that seat of power. I would run this country better than that guy. So it's that kind of it's very Capricorn is what I'm going to say. But you've got some songs like Dirty Cash, you know, Money Talks, Dirty Cash, I Want You, and Money, Power, Glory by Lana Del Rey. I want money, power, glory. So you've got this energy of being power hungry. And again, with the devil and being desire, this could be, and Mars as well, it's like what drives you. It could be your desire for money, like material things, power, influence. So, but again, it's like the way it's coming through, again, I've got that Capricorn Lilith placement. It's like feeling, it's like going through a cycle of having this urge, recognizing that this is part of your shadow to desire this power, fame, power, glory, money hungry, pride, all these, the devil parts of Capricorn, but then like accepting that part of yourself. And it's almost like, again, thinking back to the last reading with like getting your mojo back, it's almost like owning it. It's like owning who you are. I think you had Old Town Road, right? And then I've heard it so many times this week. It's like getting the swagger back in your walk and being like, yeah, I'm a Capricorn. I do want money, I do want power. I do want glory. And you know what? I'm not going to be ashamed about it. But not doing it in a way that's like dark or, again, dirty money, dirty cash. But you've got this sense of like playing the game, right? So it's like, this is the way. It's almost like, okay, we live in a society, right? I live in a consumerist society. This is the way this game is played. This is the game of life. This is the hand that I've been dealt. So do you know what? I'm going to play it, and I'm going to play it really well. And do you know what? Good for you, Caps, right? My Lilith placement is applauding you because I can't do that. Deep Sea Astronaut, the book, and the Wizard. You may be taking a deep dive into some kind of book that's speaking to you on a spiritual level. It could be something about wizards. It could be like you're reading Harry Potter, I don't know. But the Wizard as well, and the book, it kind of gives me almost like you've got the Book of the Devil or something like that, right? You've got the book of magic. It's like, like in Charmed, they've got that book with all the magic in. It's like there's something about a book that's kind of like a source of power for you, or an instruction manual. It's like part of your magician energy. So I don't know what to say to you, Caps. You're coming in very dark, but also like protective. It's like you're playing the game of life, but you're protecting those you love, right? You're protecting those that you're committed to. So I don't know what to say. Do you know what? I may pause and run and get myself a coffee just to be in keeping with the tradition, and then we'll actually pull some cards on camera and see what you get. Okay, Cappies, hi, I'm back. So I got a song actually there while I was making my coffee, like cheers, I hope you paused and got a coffee too, or whatever your drink of choice is. So this is, I feel it's the most Capricorn song I think I've ever channeled, and it's not on my playlist, so it wouldn't come up randomized, and I just channeled it then. I was like, oh my god, that's so Capricorn. And I feel like a special shout out to Capricorn males, whether you're drag queens or, I have never met a Capricorn man who doesn't like dressing up in women's clothes in some way, shape or form. Every single Capricorn man I have ever met. So it takes a lifetime to become the best that we can be. It's I Am What I Am by Gloria Gaynor. We have not the time or the right to judge each other, and it's one life, and there's no return and no deposit. Okay, I guess she doesn't believe in what I do, that you reincarnated, but fine. One life, so make sure you like what's in your closet. So it could just be dressing the way you want, right? Whatever it means to you. I am what I am. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise. I think it's pretty, because that is like, again, Capricorn, that propensity to kind of like be over the top or overdressed, or like wear all your bling, right? Because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel strong. It makes you feel like, it's like putting on your war paint, right? Like putting on your best clothes, like makes you feel good about yourself. Having your hair done makes you feel good about yourself. Spending money on yourself and like looking your best makes you feel good. Treating yourself, like, why shouldn't you, Capricorn? Why should anyone make you feel bad about that? Some think it's noise, I think it's pretty. And so what if I love each sparkle and each bangle? Why not try to see things from a different angle? Your life is a shame until you can shout out, I am what I am. And I think that's the journey of Cappies, to be able to do that, right? To be able to break through those boxes, to break out of those boxes, to kind of throw the rule book out of the window and be like, I'm redefining the rule book, right? I'm writing the book now. So I do feel like that's kind of like the quest of cappies. I am what I am, and what I am needs no excuses. I deal my own deck. Maybe some of you have your own tarot decks. Sometimes the ace, sometimes the juices. It's my life that I want to have a little pride in, my life, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life is not worth a damn until you can shout out, I am what I am, right? So here with that sink, cast the first stone and all that kind of business, like, you know, you can't live your life for other people. You've got to be who you are, right? You've got to make your own choices. Reminds me as well, I don't know if it was, because I did them both on the same day, like Sagittarius or Scorpio. Yeah, I feel like it was one of those signs. Somebody had Billy Joel. Like, is it like It's My Life? I feel like it was Sagittarius. I'm doing this reading, by the way, on Tuesday, the day that Sagittarius's reading's going up. I don't know if I'm going to put it up on Wednesday or Thursday, but I seem to be particularly prophetic with Capricorns. So if I put this up a couple of days late and you, like, I don't know, like are posting stuff on social media or saying stuff to me or we're having conversations, I did this reading on Tuesday, right? I'm not mimicking you or anything like that. Gloria Gaynor, September the 7th. So what is she, like a August, September, Leo? Okay, I was wondering if she's Capricorn. Right. Caps, let's see what we've got for you. I think they want this one first. They're showing me a specific card from this deck, so it'll be interesting to see if it comes out. The Dragon's Lair. Oh, it's like facing up to something, like facing, like going up to the seat of power and like stating your cause. But it's protective as well. Like the Dragon's Lair is also like Elsa's castle. It's protective. Dry desert and intention. Right. Oh, I've not finished telling you all the things. I thought, again, I get so much. It really is like a deep sea exploration every time I dive into your energy. I've also got, I mean, there's a ton of songs already. I don't want to go through every single one, but so there could be something about a place beginning with B. So I specifically got Brazil. So I don't know if some of you maybe live in Brazil. I know there's stuff going on politically in Brazil at the moment. I think they've got an election. I got Berlin, so kind of Germany way. I'm getting a lot of Eastern Europe because I also channeled, I saw a vision of a Saint Bernard dog. Now Saint Bernard dogs were specifically bred to be like mountain rescue in the Swiss Alps. So you're getting kind of like Germany, France, Switzerland, Italy, kind of that middle region of Europe. So yeah, I don't know if somebody could listen to Beethoven as well, but Saint Bernards and also Bernese mountain dogs. You know how they carry the little. It was like a family pet. It was like Beethoven, right? It was like the vision itself looked like a family picture, like a family out in the back garden. I couldn't see the family so much, but all the focus was on this dog, and it looked like it had just been brushed. It looked like really fancy, like it had like a blow dry or something, and it had it was like a fluorescent yellow ball or a fluorescent orange ball in its mouth. Orange, yellow, green, you know, that kind of fluorescent colour. And it was like they were posing for this photo that was being took. But I remember it looking like really, really like it just it'd just been to the groomers, right? Yeah, they to me, they're always like the dogs that used to carry like rum in a barrel on the neck, or you know, to warm up people who were stuck in the snow, or like the little medical kits. Like I know that like the Red Cross used to use them, so I was kind of seeing the Red Cross and mountain rescue. So maybe somebody works or has worked for Red Cross, or you know, somebody's worked for mountain rescue, but it could be something like that, or something about like mountains. You get mountains a lot. You know, that idea of like climbing the mountain of life. I know that you've had the Alps before as well, because I remember in one reading talking about Hannibal, you know, leading the elephants through the Alps. So take that as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. I was getting a Dumas, I can't pronounce it, Alexandre Dumas, who was a French author. He did like the Three Musketeers, so again, that all for one for all kind of thing that you've got going on. Oh God, that came through. That thing about like somebody, you know, somebody who you've made a vow to, like somebody who it's like you've got this bond with, where it's like you've hit rock bottom together and you've got each other's backs. If there's been something where this person thought you didn't care about them, like you care so deeply. So the emotion that I got from that was like almost like I can't believe I can't believe this person's got my back, or I can't believe this person cares, or I can't believe this person thinks I don't care, something like that. So if you're dealing with somebody who is like this to you, again, like, could be a literal brother, but it's like if they have addiction problems, and it's like you've had to put those boundaries up, because I know we've spoken about this in other readings, Caps. It's like if you've had to put those boundaries up of like, I will always support you, I will always love you, but I'm not giving you money right now, and they've took that as a sign that you don't care. It's like you care. It's like a misunderstanding, because it's like you care so much, right, that it's like having to put those boundaries in place for their own good is killing you. It's like it's so painful for you to say no to them, but it's like, you know, that it's for their greatest good. So it's like that kind of love, and it's the kind of love as well that a parent has for the children. You know, like my son does it sometimes if he doesn't want to go to school, or he wants to carry on playing his computer game until like the late evening. Is like he'll say, you don't love me, you know, and I'm like, yes, I do love you, but there's rules, right? It's like, and the rules are for the greater good. I'm your parent, I'm not your best friend. So it's like, it hurts me when he's like, I hate you, you don't love me, you know, if you love me, you'd let me stay up like playing computer games all night. I'm like, yeah, that's not the kind of love I'm giving you. I do love you, and my love is actually the stronger kind of love for being able to say no to you. So it's that kind of thing that you've got going on with somebody, for some of you. Yeah, Alexander Dumas. So also Count of Monte Cristo, is it? Iron Mask, all that kind of stuff. I don't know his work very well. I think I did try and read a couple of them. I know I've tried to read Three Musketeers in the past. It could be like somebody's famous favorite author or something. Again, somebody could live in that area. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all the notes. God, your readings, Caps. I should just be the Capricorn channel. I honestly, like, I get so much for you. Okay, what's going on for Caps? What is the message for Capricorn, please? Balancing act on the bottom there. So yeah, like a fine line, right? Dry desert again, that really wanted to come out. Dry desert, again, like hunger, like what is it? Hunger hurts, but starving's worse. So the dry desert is symbolic for me at the moment of you maybe being in a desert, like an arid place, or it's like withholding love or something like that. It's like withholding emotion, or searching for emotion, something like this. But again, like if you see the cactus in the background, it's like they are designed to persevere in this environment, right? They store water, so they don't waste water, they store water. They're designed to be in that environment. So there's something about that for you. Golden Palace, that talks to me, those two cards in that order, they've been out like this before, and it talks to me about exile, right? So being thrown out of the Golden Palace and having to wander. It also talks to me about going on a quest, so like a pilgrimage or something. It's like leaving a comfort zone, leaving the place of, and again, this could be symbolic of a certain country, because you had money hungry, prideful country, right? Dirty cash and money, power, glory. It's like leaving a place that is symbolic of power and wealth and comfort, to go out in search of something more. It's kind of making me think of June as well, or like you know, say there was something, I want to say emotions, because water symbolizes emotions for me. So it's like a lack of emotion. It could be like a lack of food as well. Like there's something missing from the Golden Palace, right? So it's funny you have Dragon Lair as well. Like I don't know why that's looking like a nipple for me. There could be something about nipples. What's that? Like golden bikini, like metal. Maybe somebody's like cosplaying or doing something for Halloween, like a breastplate. Following in someone's footsteps, perhaps, or forging a path. It's like you've gone out to search for something because it wasn't here. Commitment, home, stuck in the mud. Commitment, home. It's told you commitments. Maybe the commitments is like a film. So what have you... You've committed to something, right? You are like this home as well. Like, doesn't that feel like a secret entrance, right? Talking about like Alexander Dumas and all those kind of, I don't know, like, you know, like musketeers and castles and palaces and intrigue. There's always like secret entrances and exits, right? It's almost like it's making me think of that Audrey Hepburn film as well. I think that's set in Rome. Not Funny Face, but that's to do with books. She works in a bookstore. Roman Holiday. I want to say it's Roman Holiday, where she's a princess and she sneaks out to go and have an adventure and like run around Rome. So maybe something like that. Commitment. So what are you committed to? What have you vowed to? It's like being given the key. It's like being given the key to get out of the palace. I've not watched the new House of Dragons this week yet. I wonder if it's House of Dragons that I'm channeling. And they're stuck in the mud, needing a new perspective, going around in circles. It could be something like lockdown, right? Feeling stuck in the house, feeling like you're going around in circles with something. A commitment that's not going anywhere. It's like a commitment that's like grinding you down in some sort of way. But also something about like the terrain itself. So something about the terrain itself, and I feel like you've had this before as well, like like how viable the conditions are to build something, right? So it's like the dry desert, it could be quite difficult if you've ever walked across like sand dunes or, you know, a beach that's very, very dry. It can be actually quite a slog, right? And it's like to add emotions to this as well, to add water to this environment. It's like it's just made it like boggy. But like the roots, you've had this before. Oh God, right? With seed and apple as well, right? You had seed and apple. The other day I was channeling Johnny Appleseed, right? And you've had it before, this thing about terraforming an environment. So, you know, if you put down the right... So there's places on Earth that are deserts that used to be like rainforests, right? Like I think the Sahara Desert itself used to be like a lush landscape. I don't know, like don't take my word for it, go and Google it and look it up. But there's like places that have been like deforested, right? They've been like plundered, or there's been like droughts, or, you know, things that have happened to take that lush environment and turn it into a dry kind of like a dry environment that has no nutrients, it has no richness, it has no it's like not a place where people can easily live. Like yes, you have like what they call like what's that word? They live in kind of like North Africa. I think it begins with B. I can't think of that word. Like they live in like tents and stuff. They kind of like travel. But Berbers, Bourbon came up. And Brazil. Do you remember I was saying about the bee names, like the bee words, the bee places? Okay. So bees as well. It could be something about bees, right? And the importance of bees in order to propagate plants and propagate trees. So it could, trees as well can be symbolic of people, you know, family trees and things like this. So it's like an environment where you have to get the right kind of plants to grow in that environment, and the root system being particularly important because roots symbolize ancestry as well. Like you know, like deep solid roots is like a good family, you know, supportive family, and the family that nurtures. So it's like if you plant the right trees here in this environment and the root system takes hold, like because the roots go really, really deep, right? They can go and search out the water that is not available to on the surface. And then what can actually happen, especially if you get like mushrooms involved, it can terraform the entire environment, right? You can change because if you think about how trees work, right, especially deciduous trees, like over time, like look at this ground, like over time, you know, every season when those leaves fall from the trees, it's going to change the nature of the soil and the earth, right? And keep returning nutrients to the earth. So over time, and it would take time, you could terraform an environment to make it. And elephants as well. Elephants. So elephants are really, really important for the spread of of like bacteria and seeds and microbes, because if you think about, this is what it is with the footprints. If you think about how footprints, like an elephant's footprint, right? It's like a big footprint. And so the really important, this is something you can Google, it's like proper like science. So an elephant's footprint, because it makes that impression into the earth, it can fill up with water, and it can be like a little tiny oasis, like a little tiny pond for like all sorts of like animal life, right? And bacteria and things to flourish. And so when elephants are walking, they're actually spreading, you know, like how birds, because you've got this bird here as well, look, like how birds like eat like fruit and like poop it, and it like spreads the seed. It's like elephants are really, really important to like the spread of like important things. I'm gonna Google it, right? I'm gonna prove this to you. Hold on. Okay, so this is Scientific American, if I can get on it, reject all cookies. The amazing biodiversity within an elephant's footprint. Our understanding of the elephant's role as an ecosystem engineer, how cool is that, continues to evolve. When you weigh upwards of 6,000 kilograms, you tend to leave a trace of yourself whenever you walk. That's definitely the case with African elephants, which according to new research is actually a boon for dozens of other much tinier species. As discussed in a paper published this week, I don't know when it was published, hold on, what's the date on this? 2016, August 25th. So it's not new, right? Blah, blah, blah. In the African Journal of Ecology, elephants' feet play an important ecological role in Uganda and probably in other countries. As elephants walk through the forest, they leave deep footprints behind them. These footprints then fill up with water, creating little foot-shaped microhabitats for at least 61 different microinvertebrate species from 9 different orders. I'm really excited, I think, because I remembered this accurately. Among those living in footprint land were species of mites, mayflies, back swimmers, leeches, and gastropods. They also found a large number of tadpoles. None of this had been observed before, although some previous research has linked elephant footprints to mosquito breeding. Ew, according to the paper. Yeah, and then like they walk them around, right? They spread them across the landscape, because elephants travel actually quite huge distances, I believe. So that is really fascinating. So I do think as well, I saw somebody, I feel like it was Awakening to Spirit, who's another tarot reader. I think I saw her mention it first in her, she's got a reading that's kind of a collective reading about like hurricanes or something like that. But she was saying something, and I'd never heard of this before, but I like since hearing it in a reading, I've heard it echoed throughout the week, where I think it's somewhere in America, where I don't know if it's like Florida or Texas, or like I know they're quite different places, but there's an area maybe around Nevada that's like a desert area, and they've been doing this. They've been like putting like re-terraforming the environment. So because it's like people are understanding the importance now of you know, like all the different animals within a habitat, how it all works in like a, you know, bioengineering. So it's funny, my friend was talking about biodomes and things as well. That is fascinating. Your readings are always so fascinating to me. They're always quite scientific as well. I don't know, Capricorns are like big brain energy. You're good at what you do and you go in deep. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. So let's keep going. Let's get you some Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. No, Archetypes deck. Maybe we need Animal Wild Unknown, because you've got some animal stuff. Let's go animals as well. What do we have for cats, please? Firefly. So firefly to me is a symbol of hope. They lead you through the darkness. Moth also moving towards the light. So I feel like you are moving towards the light, right? You're following the light. You're following hope. You're not kind of doom scrolling and thinking, oh my God, it's the apocalypse. You're thinking, do you know what? There is stuff we can do. There is stuff we can do. We can replant trees. Yeah, okay, fine. Like a lot of people are saying like it's too late, but it's like never give up hope. Never give up hope until, you know, the asteroid hits us, or, you know, somebody presses that button. It's like there's still things that we can do, that we can still have hope. What's the point in just lying there crying because of the state of the world? I could get up and I could plant some fucking trees, right? And do you know what? It might not make a difference, but it's going to make me feel a hell of a lot better to be up and doing something. That's kind of what that's giving me. There's that medallion. Do you know what I said about like having a friend who's got like, it could be like a pocket watch or like a medallion or a it's like a piece of jewelry that reminds you of this person and this commitment. maybe this friend was really, really involved in, I don't know, humanitarian efforts. So things like Red Cross, or through like, like volunteering, like, like world organizations like Amnesty International, or I can't even think of any others. Maybe somebody as well. I was getting kind of like, I'm hearing Marine Corps. Maybe somebody was in the Marine Corps. I don't really know a lot about that. I don't even know what country that would be. But it's like maybe this person as well, like part of their like service, like volunteer service, was to go and do like humanitarian or aid work. I suddenly feel really sick. Like, I don't know what just came over me there. Maybe somebody got like dysentery or something. The animal, oh my god, animals. The animal, like the wild part of yourself, the instinctive part of yourself. Where's the book? Like the beast within as well, right? The beast below, the beast within. God, I love your fucking readings, Capricorns. Like, you're always so interesting to me. And I get so excited. And it's like, they're so dark as well. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I come into your readings and it's like, oh my god, I feel that way. Because you fucking care. Like, they wouldn't be, why am I swearing so much? I'm sorry, I don't know. Like, you wouldn't feel this kind of weight if you didn't care. But there's something, it's like you are the elephant, right? It's like the weight on your shoulders, the baggage you carry, your ancestry as well. Elephants are like a symbol of ancestry and like a sense of inherited purpose, like this is, maybe you are like, I was looking at, what's that little tiny country? Money hungry, prideful country. They're giving me that again. Is it like Monaco? Is that a country? There's like tiny little countries around the Mediterranean that still have like kings and queens and things like this. Like there's like Bahrain. That's not small, is it? But you know what I mean? It's like these little tiny. I feel like, who's the guy who runs France? I'm such a dick. I used to be really, really into politics, and then I kind of gave up hope with it. When Gordon Brown didn't get elected, I was like, oh yeah, the guy that knows how to manage money, and he's like, he was running the treasury, and he like knows what he's doing. Like, we're not going to elect him now. Like, and it's like the Conservatives have absolutely like ravaged the country's treasury. I'm like, oh, yeah, we should have, that guy, like who, like, I don't know. Like the guy who knew how to do that job, yeah, we're not electing him. Okay, population. And then like they didn't elect the other guy because they didn't like the way he ate bacon butties, and I was like, okay. Like, what is it? Chaos with Ed Miliband. I was like, yeah, I'm up for chaos with Ed Miliband. It can't be worse than the chaos with the Conservatives. Anyway, a little bit of politics aside there. Whatever you think is fine, right? We've all got different opinions. We've all got different knowledge. We've got different lives, right? Different political parties appeal to different people. It's fine, right? We can be friends. And where is it going with this? I don't know where I was going with this. I've seen you as the elephant, right? I'm seeing you as the elephant, carrying that ancestral weight, carrying that, the responsibilities of your family, the burdens of your family, something like this. You don't have to be like a fucking royal or something, but it's like the weight that you carry is serving a purpose, just like everything. When you see the grand scheme of things, everything serves a purpose, and your purpose is to, it's like, yes, you're stuck in a mud. You're like, if there could be a situation where it's like you feel like you're going around in circles, you feel like you're doing something over and over again, and it's like, why am I still doing this? Why am I still like one foot in front of the other? I'm like following that hope, right? I'm following that. If I show you like the elephant in this deck as well, it's like, look at the lion, because you're learning something here about leadership, I think, about strength, about perseverance. There, look at that elephant in this deck, right? He's like following that light, right? One step in front of the other, one day at a time. Keep following the light, keep moving towards the light. But it's like you feel like the light has, maybe like the universe's faith has led you around in circles, right? Chasing that rainbow. Like, you're never going to find that pot of gold, and you're like, what is the point in this? It's like there's always a point to it, because maybe you can't see it, but that trench that you've plowed, maybe some of you pace, you actually walk around in circles in your garden. It's like that all those steps you've taken have become a trench, and that trench is going to fill up with water, and then it's going to be like this whole, like, you've bioengineered something. So again, like, it doesn't have to literally be like earth, and I mean, you're in earth sign, right? Or it's like whatever you've been doing, Caps, whatever you've been like, you know, I took it one day at a time, and I've just gone around in circles. I'm back where I started. It's like you can't see the impact you've made. You can't see the it's like you've done so much good, and it's like because you're in the trench, you can't actually see the effect of all that hard work. It's kind of like Seven of Pentacles, but it had a purpose. There was a point to it, right? And I think you're gonna see it, right? Especially with the moth and firefly being air, right? So like, you're down in the earth, you're an earth sign, right? Maybe it's going to take an air sign to have that higher perspective. You know, the bird, right? The bird on your shoulder. It's like, it's going to take the air to be able to fully see and understand like the pattern that you're in, and the reason why you've been maybe following in someone else's footsteps, right? It's gonna, yeah, okay. Drink some fucking coffee. Your readings, Caps. I'm just gonna become the Capricorn channel, I swear to God. Okay. The beast, the wild one, the she-wolf. We are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs reminds us so. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature. This is you, right? Overcoming that devil part of yourself, the wild part of yourself within. And resisting it, right? That kind of like, you're not, if you're resisting it, you're not doing the shadow work. The shadow work is confronting it, accepting it, and utilizing it in a powerful and high vibrational way. This is how you get to this, the lucrative golden shadow energy, right? The what's his face talks about, the guy that talks about it. God. Yeah, through this archetype, we tap into power and direction. I feel like you've done it. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. The life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If all of this sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. And you had that lion there as well, didn't you? Well, crocodile there now. When light, vital, elemental, alive, dances. When dark, savagery. So again, the dark side of it, which needs to be, everything has light and dark, right? It's how you utilize it. So be wary of the dark side of this nature. Savagery, pent up emotion, and lashing out. So if you're doing those things, there's shadow work to be done. Go deeper. Listen to the audio recording of Mary Oliver reading Wild Geese. Repeat every morning for 1 week. My geese have gone. I used to feed like the geese, and they've gone. They've flown south, and I'm sad. The animal demands that we get comfortable in our own skin. The minute you accept, express, and celebrate the physical body, you tap into animal energy. But it's like having the faith that those geese are going to return, right? They'll come back. It's their home. So if somebody has maybe left your home, it's like having the faith that they're going to return. If you provide a place of comfort and support, and it's like unlocking the cage, like taking the shackles off. Maybe somebody's done this to you, right? Maybe they've got if you're dealing with someone who's got a fear of, or it's like you yourself, you could have Cancerian placements, like a fear of somebody leaving you, right? It's like giving that person their freedom. Like, it's like giving that person the key, because you'd rather, maybe this is like, again, like a child relationship. It's like you'd rather let them make their own choices and be there for them if they fall, than to control them, right? It's like, again, it could be you, switch it and reverse it as needs be, but it's like letting people make their own mistakes, or letting people learn their own lessons, understanding that you don't have to control everything. But, you know, if you want that person to return, you you give them the freedom. It's like the love and loyalty is stronger than tyrannical control. Okay, so I don't know if somebody made a vow to you of some kind. Notice your resistance to the animal within. Where does it come from? What has it kept you from doing, wild one? What do you want to do that you've not done? And why? Probably because of commitments that you take very, very seriously. Tell me about commitment for cats. Commitment. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. See, the 5 of Pentacles is like, it can be a division of the assets. It's half of the 10 of Pentacles. It's being out in the cold. It can be like the closed door, right? So if it's in reverse, especially with these two, it's like a commitment to keeping the door open. And again, the 5 of Pentacles, traditionally, the imagery is a woman and a child shut out from a place of comfort. So they're normally outside a church, right? But they're out in the cold, they're out in the snow. So it's like, it's making me think of, you know, Les Miserables, where the priest has that kind of like open door policy, even though he knows the nature of... oh, I can't think what his name is. He goes and he like steals the candlesticks, doesn't he? But it's like the priest lets him. Because, and I'm not saying you let anyone steal from you, right? But it's like, you know, that kind of charity, that kind of trust can be character building in the person that you trust as well, right? Because a lot of the time, if you treat someone like a criminal, they think that they're a criminal, right? If you treat someone as untrustworthy, they tell themselves they're untrustworthy. Where if you give someone a little bit of trust and a little bit of faith, yeah, they might make a mess of that, but you teach them how to fix it, right? You teach them how to make a different choice next time. It's a much more mature and responsible way of making someone better rather than just punishing them. So this kind of open door charitable policy seems to be the commitment that you've made. Okay, I'm going to put that away actually and just go again. So home, what's home? 8 of Cups. So yeah, that's kind of like, I always say this is somebody who's leaving, but they're looking back and saying, are you going to come with me? Are you going to follow me? Kind of makes me think of like 2 kids who are like, let's run away together. Or like, I'm leaving, are you coming with me? The 8 of Cups is there's something missing. So home with the 8 of Cups is like, again, you've got that sense of like going out to discover something. Like, it's not the 9 of Cups, it's not the 10 of Cups, right? There's something, you know, something's missing from this situation. You know that there's some kind of emotion that is not being found in this place. Right? So it's like, I have to go out and discover this. I have to go out and search for this. What's the dry desert? Tell me about the dry desert. The moon. Then maybe, so the King of Wands. This could be you. It could be somebody around you. It could be a Leo. And the moon. So the moon is... it can be romanticism, it can be illusion, it can be fear, it can be it's like things are not what they seem to be with the moon. But it's also a time to use your intuition, to use your you know, that wild part of yourself that senses things, you know, intuitively and you don't quite know why, or instinctively and you don't know why. The moon is a powerful symbol of like intuition. Excuse me. And the King of Wands can talk about, I mean, he's a bit of a treacherous character here. I don't know how trustworthy this guy is. He's got like blood on his mouth and a snake up his sleeve. But the King of the Wands in the upright is somebody who's very brave. In the reverse, I wouldn't trust this guy. In the upright, there's some confusion around this, but this is somebody who, they know what they want, right? There's He's bold, he's brave, he's a leader, he's the lion-hearted, he's magnetic, he's confident, he's bold, he strikes while the iron's hot, right? But he's not impulsive, he's not the Knight of Wands. He's not reckless, he's got control over his passions. So why is the moon here with the King of Wands? Strength. So there's that companion energy again, the sun. There's a Leo. You either have Leo placements or you're dealing with a Leo. Leo. Through this, I want to say it's a relationship. You're finding, it feels like you're finding a true companion. You're finding somebody who is like your backbone, or you're their backbone. And there's a sense of discovery where if there was anything hidden or there was any confusion, my heart's racing, there's going to be light shed on this. This is somebody who's literally leading you. And again, it could be your own anima or animus, right? Your own inner persona, rather than the kind of like mask that you show to the world. There's something here that is, it feels like a pilgrimage of discovery with the sun there. And a huge amount of confidence being found in this. That's getting somebody through a period of fear, confusion, distrust, unknown. That feels... It is making me think a little bit of like, you know, like when kids go on a school trip and it's character building for them. You know, they go out on... or again, it could be something where, you know, maybe somebody has been doing aid work, right? A gap year, or a... what are they called? I can't think what they're called. It's like when you go into university, you do like a volunteer session. Sometimes, not everybody. It's like I know in like sometimes it's called like a gap year, and you go and do like missionary work or volunteer work or aid work, and it's like it's really character building, right? To experience a different environment, to experience like a different way of living, maybe very off the grid as well. Okay. Especially if you've grown up somewhere that is money hungry, prideful country, right? So it feels American to me, but it doesn't have to be. It feels a bit like, you know, growing up somewhere where maybe you've had a very comfortable home. Maybe you've had everything you need, right? Like all your needs kind of taken care of. You've never had to worry about where your next meal's coming from. I'm not going to say this is for everybody, by the way. It doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody that you're kind of paired with. Like somebody who's never had to worry about whether or not they're going to have a roof over their head. Somebody who's never had to, not really worry, you know, like everybody worries a little bit, but it's like they've never had to experience that. They've never had any real threat to their comfort, to their home life. You know, they've always had a home. They've always had food on the table. They've had a loving, supportive family to an extent. It's like they've never had to, they don't know hardship. And I think a lot of people are finding this as well. Like a lot of people in kind of, not everybody, again, I know, right? I know you can be in a country that's wealthy and have hardship, right? You can be in a country that is healthy and, you know, you can come from a comfortable home, or you can, you know, have a horrible family, or you can like, you know, something can go wrong, somebody can lose their job, and like, it's like that comfort is threatened. But it has that feeling of it, of like somebody who, you know, like Jasmine, Princess Jasmine in the Golden Palace, right? And then like going out and walking amongst the people and actually seeing what life is like. It does make me think as well of like, if anyone's watching House of Dragon, the princess, she kind of goes out in, you know, like Jasmine, kind of like, and hangs around with the peasants to see what they're doing. But it's got that kind of energy, like actually recognizing how comfortable your life was or how well off you were. But at the same time, with that Eight of Cups and home, it's like actually through going out and experiencing a different environment, a different way of living. It's funny, someone had like common people as well in one of their readings. It's like finding what's missing. So a lot of people, you know, like that hashtag first world problems, where it's like people have this sense of kind of like, you know, they say it's like white girl problems and stuff like that, you know, sad girl, sad boy. It's like all your needs are met, and yet people feel it's like a cultural thing, it's like a societal thing that's happening now. It's like people feel this sense of directionlessness, like this sense of lack of purpose, this sense of why am I here? What is the point of living? You know, it's like existential crisis energy of feeling unfulfilled and not really knowing why. And it has that energy to it with the Eight of Cups and home. So did we check Golden Palace? Five of Pentacles. So sometimes it takes being kicked out, right? Sometimes it takes the door being closed to you to have to go out and fend for yourself. You know, and maybe this is like a lesson that's been taught to somebody. It's like, do you know what? You've got to go out and work now. You've got to go out and earn your own money. We're not providing for you anymore, right? So it's like that open door policy. At this point, it feels like the door was closed. Or somebody could have lost the house, right? Somebody could have lost the house and understood what it's like to not feel safe. You know, you're going to keep robbing my candlesticks, then I'm not going to let you in the house anymore. Stuck in the mud. The Hangman, yeah, it's going to take a new perspective. The Hangman literally is about turning a situation on its head and looking at it from a different angle to see what's really going on there. So you know how I was saying, like, the elephant can't see the pattern because it's just concentrating on the next step. Like the bird with that highest perspective, the moth and the butterfly, they can see that situation from above. There is some kind of transformation taking place. You've got a couple of images of, like, sorry about that noisy truck, a couple of images about like the moth, the cocoon. There was also the moon and the sun card. If you look at them closely, they have that kind of cocooning energy to them. So I feel like somebody is experiencing growth, right? And sometimes it takes repetition for a lesson to really sink in. Sometimes you have to make a mistake over and over again before you really understand and integrate that into your being and your purpose, right? So it makes me think about like homework for kids. You know, they teach them, like, they literally teach the same thing every single year. So every single year they've been teaching my kids how to round things to 100, how to round things to 10, how to round things to 1,000, every single year, right? Because by that repetition, it integrates it into it, rather than it being something that is transient, it becomes fixed knowledge. So this is something where it's like there is a purpose to doing it over and over and again, because it's creating this kind of like it's almost like muscle memory, right? And there is a new perspective to be had on that. Tell me about the animal, please. Tell me about the animal for Capricorn. I'm not understanding the Six of Pentacles at the moment. Six of Pentacles, it's like a payout. It's charitable. I mean, it makes a lot of sense in your reading. So it's like recognizing, are you in a position to give, or are you in a position to receive? Do you need a handout at this time? Do you need charity at this time? Don't be too proud to ask. You know, if somebody's willing to give you money and, you know, no questions asked, it's out of the goodness of the heart and you need it, take it. You know, if somebody's willing, if you've been out in the market stealing bread and somebody is like, here, I've got too many apples, have this basket of apples, you're not going to say, no, I'm going to keep stealing the bread because I want to work for it myself. You know, it's like, thank you for giving me the apples that you didn't need and I desperately need. So recognizing if you need help, but also recognizing if you're in a position to give, right? Are you living in that golden palace, looking out of your window and seeing people suffering? Do you have extra apples? Like, are the apples kind of like falling off your tree and rotting in your yard? Vehicle reversing cabs. Can you hear it? It was going to happen sooner or later. It's not even Thursday. You know, so yeah. Why is it with the animal though? Oh. Second chances. Second chances. Learning lessons, second chances, revival. After a period of deep, deep soul searching, this is like you in the catacombs of the underworld, kind of like searching for answers, finding that light, finding that hidden light. But it's like, it is coming with a sense of disappointment and loss, grief, loss, abandonment, rejection. Like, rejection is God's protection, right? It's teaching us a lesson. You feel like you've had to do something alone. You feel like you've had to Look at that. It's so curious. Look at this. Look how curious. Maybe it's like Lord of the Rings. You know, what's that? Rings of Power? Like, the portal under the tree. I had a dream once about this portal under this tree, and it was, the roots of this tree were filled with memories. They were like bottles of memories or something like this. And this portal opened up in the earth next to this tree. There was like a woman there, and I jumped in. And I remember that day because when I talked about this dream, it seemed to have an effect on someone else. And I thought it was really curious that a dream that I had affected somebody else. And I never got any resolution from that. It's making me think of that dream again. And you've got, right, Pluto, gate, portal, the crows, the priestess, the rose under that. What is that? What is that? It's like a secret passage or something. So, you know, like I get these things and like puzzle over them. The black egg. Could be that you thought you were alone in that space. You thought you were alone in that space. You thought you were abandoned in that space, but there was somebody else in there with you. Like somebody followed you in. It's reminding me, it's going back to the old Capricorn readings from years ago. You thought you were alone in that dark space, but someone was in there with you, and they were the firefly. I remember those. Four of Pentacles. I'm reading from the book. Alone in my castle. Being rich has always been my dream. And rich I am, very. I possess an empire. Money, palaces, dresses, lands, they're all mine. Have they brought me happiness? In a way. But not fully. I've ended up living in a castle, but it's a lonely castle. If I've let you in, that means that you, like me, have accomplished great things. That you have built financial stability. And I congratulate you for that. But my dear, remember this. Live with money, not for money. Your value is not proportional to what you own. Prosperity is, of course, a good thing, as long as it does not become an obsession or a prison. I feel like we've come full circle. We're back to the start. Do you see it now? Do you see it? Do you see from the different perspective now? I don't know if you want to just like pause that and read that yourself. It's always telling me, like, it always looks like being in like an interior, and then there's like the water coming in. It feels like this is like Cinderella, right? Like Pentacles weighing something up. So it's like, but 2 is half of 4. That has the feeling of like the Cinderella story, right? Like Elsa alone in a castle kind of thing. Like, I've got a lot of wealth, I've got a lot of money. And then the prince in Cinderella goes out, doesn't he, to like be among the people, and that's how he meets her. I want to get you, I mean, I feel like that's the advice, right? Don't let the Capricorn need to have material things, to have comfort, to have wealth, to be prosperous. Don't let it consume you in a way where it's too late when you realize something's missing. Let's go dragons. Let's go dragons and see what we get from the dragons today. Magic and manifestation. Nice. Gorgeous. Magic and manifestation still there on the bottom. Illuminare. Illuminare. Shout out my Libras. Only truth has integrity and can stand the test of time. If you have picked Illuminaire today, hear his message. I illuminate what can't be seen, the sun coming in to reveal the moon, right? I illuminate what can't be seen, that which is hidden within you. Your truth needs to be seen and shared. You cannot hide behind your masks forever. Your shields of false protection don't serve you. Only truth has integrity and can stand the test of time. Illuminare is the first dragon I met who also holds angelic as well as dragon energy. In this case, from the Archangel Uriel. Love that. Angelic as well as dragon energy. It's like yin yang, right? It's like the balance. Like we're all devils and angels in disguise. Like the devil is an angel, right? In this case, from the Archangel Uriel. Illuminare appears when we are not listening, and we have been resisting what needs uncovering and changing within our lives. This is usually of a spiritual or personal nature. Rest assured you are now ready to deal with whatever has been lurking in the depths of your being. Whether this is a spiritual awakening or a deep personal healing, it's ready to be activated. The rest of this message is this: spiritual warriors of Earth, collectively we can change the world. Right, you have the world. That's your card. To me, it's a Capricorn card anyway. They're giving me take that. I can rule the world. Whether this is a blah, blah, blah. The rest of this message is this: spiritual warriors of the earth, collectively we can change the world. Although humankind is not yet ready for all of us in all our might, you and others like you are preparing the way, anchoring the light into the planet. Are you ready to continue your amazing journey of empowerment? Illuminaire invites you to see the truth in all situations. He says, do not fear this illumination. Truth is a liberating and powerful ally. Your fears lie with change, but open your heart and welcome it to your core, allowing the light to guide you forwards. I don't know. Is that helpful, Caps? Is that not helpful? You always get this, like, again, I feel like it's the, like, Pluto hanging around in your chart. Like, you get these, like, profound readings. Okay, I'm going to get you a song and then I'm going to go and sleep because you make me sleepy, Caps. Okay. Build a bitch. Bella Porsche. Poarch. This ain't build a bitch. You don't get to pick and choose. Different ass and bigger boobs. If my eyes are brown or blue. This ain't build a bitch. I'm filled with flaws and attitude. So if you need perfect, I'm not built for you. Bob the Builder broke my heart, told me I needed fixing, said that I'm just nuts and bolts, lots of parts were missing, curvy like a cursive font, virgin and a vixen. That's the kind of girl he wants, but he forgets. This ain't build a bitch, you don't get to pick and choose. I'm filled with flaws and attitude, so if you need perfect, I'm not built for you. La 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 la. The boys are always playing dolls, looking for their Barbie. They don't look like Ken at all, hardly have a heartbeat. Need someone who falls apart so they can play Prince Charming. That if that's the kind of girl he wants, then he forgets. This ain't build a bitch. I'm thinking about Libra's reading again. Libra was like, you thought I was a candle in the wind, but I am the storm, the lightning, the thunder, the kind of girl who's going to make you wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. So, I don't know, Caps, are you looking for perfect? Are you looking for perfection? Perfection is a lie. You're never going to find it and you're never going to be happy. So, deal with that one. All right, I hope this reading was helpful to you. Do look after yourselves, Caps. And again, I feel like it's you as well, right? Because you had, I am who I am, right? I am who I am unapologetically. So, you know, the world can deal with that. Yeah, we are all who we are, and you know, nobody's perfect. And the sooner we all realize that and stop expecting perfection, when perfection is literally a lie, then it's going to be, the planet's going to be better for everybody. I think we can just get on with things, right? Instead of trying to chase perfection, we can just get on with important things like not killing the planet. All right, take care of yourselves. I hope this was helpful. I will see you again soon. Sorry, it's such a long reading again. It's your energy. It's not my fault. Okay, bye.